My name is TyrionLanstr. Now, for today, I want to take a look at a chest that I just recently got. It's this rare exterior selection chest, and as you can see, it's got a whole list of different things you can possibly get. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly go over what I think you should get and what my recommendations are, but I'm also going to do a tier list on this later, just because I do think it's important to recognize that different accounts are going to want different things. So, without further ado, let's see what happens when I click on Use. So as you can see, I get a whole list of different options. It is very, very long. I'm going to go through all of it. But in this one, I'm going to kind of cut through a few things. So first of all, the 75,000 diamonds. Definitely a good option. Like, if you need diamonds, go for it. Now, if you use diamonds to buy epic tokens in the shop, there is no reason not to just go right to the 15 epic tokens. It is worth more than 75,000 diamonds. It's worth roughly 85,000 diamonds if you bought 15 epic tokens in the shop at 5,700 diamonds each. So I would definitely say that it's better to go with the epic tokens over the 75k diamonds. Now, beyond that, should you buy any of these permanent exteriors? My basic take on this is two things. Thing one, if you typically buy a lot of these in the recruitment pass shop, if you've bought those through coupons in the past, then I would definitely say no, you do not need them. Ideally, if you're using the recruitment pass, you've gotten all the exteriors that you really need, and I would say, you can refer back to my other videos on this, but pretty much depending on what type of castle you are, Grand Keep, pretty much always good to have. I would say the Crimson Fort for the research speed is nice. Dunes Fort for sure is great for the expedition. Diamond Mine if you're diamond gathering a lot. Ancient Capital is really good just for the 10% health, and then the training speed buff. And then if you don't have the honor banner bonus, like the castle that it gives, which is better than all of these, I would say, then maybe consider a Shadow of Valyria, or depending on what type of castle you're using, maybe I'm trying to think of the good ones, maybe like Twin Pillars isn't bad, Rose of Highgarden isn't bad. I think I skipped it earlier, but basically any of the ones that are the combat ones, how Honor of Riverrun isn't bad, Storm Fortress isn't bad, basically any of those. Soul Spear is pretty good. If you don't have the Honor Banner bonus, then I would use one of those. But if you have the Honor Banner bonus, and if you traditionally are able to get most of these castles through the recruitment pass shop, and you're not desperately in need of diamonds or epic tokens, I would say you should turn your attention to the marching animations. Now, to break these down, because there are just too many of them to see, what I've done is I've gone ahead and just brought up a whole list of them. So I took a screenshot of each of them for you so we could take a look at them and talk about which are the best and what you should go for. So first thing I'm going to talk about is the Kingdom Elite one. This is really a unique one from all the rest of them. It's the first one that I got, and it specifically helps with Expedition. It gives you passive motivation recovery and total defense, and then when you're using it, you get expedition damage, motivation limit increase, and you get increased marching speed. So great if you don't have it. I would say this is the first one to get. It's just, you're always going to use it whenever you're marching against rebel leaders, and especially if you're doing rebel trains. When you get more damage, ensuring that you can either two-shot a level 4 or even maybe one-shot them, that's a big deal and makes a big difference. So I would definitely say Kingdom Elite should be the first one you get. Now, I want to eliminate Kingdom Elite for a second, though, and talk about the rest, because the rest of them kind of have their advantages and disadvantages, and I want to talk about them in turn. First, I want to focus on this left column. The Wandering Song, Herald of Fire, and Erudition. These, as you might notice, are all basically mirror images of each other based on what type of account you are. So, if you are an infantry account, you want Wandering Song since it gives 15% infantry attack. If you're a cavalry account, you want Herald of Fire since it gives 15% cavalry attack. And if you're a spear account, you want Erudition since it gives 15% spear attack. All these reduce their most counterable lines, so if you're then you counter spears, lower spearman attack. Cavalry lowers infantry, lower infantry attack. Spearmen, good against cav, lower cav attack. So you get in that sense, they all give hospital capacity. That's just the way that these work. Then they also give one of the others a 5% buff, spears, inf, and cavalry, and that's always the one that's kind of, again, the best against it. That in theory, if you were an inf castle, you're probably running like inf spear or inf cav. If you're running inf spear, then you're really looking to go with wandering song, and you kind of get the sense that all of them also give 10% marching speed, and that's going to be pretty common throughout all the combat ones, that they give 10% marching speed when being used. So all three of these based on your castle. I would not say you need to get multiple of them. It's probably whichever one is for your account, whatever's you've been building up towards, you should get that one. But looking at these other lines, I want to talk about a few of them. So the Dancing Flowers one, this one I would generally say is like, it's not combat heavy. It's really for gathering, or it increases the army carrying capacity, also increases your endurance recovery, just nothing really that crazy. I think that this is probably the weakest one. Definitely doesn't give combat stats. It's not good for the rebel leaders like that. Definitely just kind of if you're not a combat castle. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the Splendid Light, as well as the Light of Honor, as well as the Frozen Storm and Dance of Snowflakes castles. So these are all kind of linked in their own ways. If you look at the Splendid Light, Light of Honor, and Dance of Snowflakes, you'll see that these kind of similarly mirror the Wandering Song, Herald of Fire, and Erudition. They're all giving 15% of the main, so 15% spear, 15% cavalry, 15% inf, and then they also reduce that same attack and give 50% army shelter capacity. Now, all good. Then they also all give fervor defense increase by 7%. So these three, Splendid Light, Light of Honor, and Dance of Snowflakes, are all clearly linked the same way Wandering Song, Herald of Fire, and Erudition are linked. But I want to also bring Frozen Storm into this conversation, because Frozen Storm gives the exact same buff as Dance of Snowflakes, infantry attack 15%, fervor defense 7%, and marching speed 10%. But it gives a different owned bonus. It gives hospital capacity and max defense troops. So there's this question: is it better to get more defense troops, more hospital capacity over the enemy infantry attack reduction and the army shelter capacity up 50,000? What I want to say about this is basically, if you have 12 million troops and you can use that extra 50,000, then I think Frozen Storm is better just for that owned bonus alone. And I would take Frozen Storm over Dance of Snowflakes. Other than that, I would go with Dance of Snowflakes for the 5% enemy infantry reduction and the shelter capacity. If you're trying to zero castle, then Dance of Snowflakes is definitely 100% better. So, again, I just want to say Wandering Song, Herald of Fire, Erudition, depends on which castle you are. Splendid Light, Light of Honor, and Dance of Snowflakes, same thing. Now, where are we left? Well, we are left with Dragon's Rage, which is an interesting one that also kind of just gives a lot of spear attack. It's not quite the same as any of the others. Its owned bonus is kind of its unique thing, where it gives reinforcement capacity and armor shelter capacity, which is kind of like the Splendid Light, Light of Honor, and Dance of Snowflakes, but then it's more similar to the Herald of Fire, Wandering Song, Erudition ones, where it gives a 5%, 15% thing. It's kind of similar to the Erudition one, but kind of with its own bonus. You can kind of look at it that way too. So, point being that a lot of these are very situational, and they're just going to be based on your type of castle. Which are you looking for? So, I think you can kind of group these four and these four together, and then it really becomes which of those two is better. So let's take my castle, for example. Mine is a very cavalry-focused. I've always been a cavalry-focused castle. So I'm pretty much between doing the Herald of Fire, which gives me 15% cavalry attack, or the Light of Honor, which also gives me 15% cavalry attack. And it becomes a debate of, do I want the 7% fervor defense, the 5% enemy cavalry reduction, 50% army shelter capacity, or the 5% infantry attack and 5% enemy infantry attack reduction, as well as 5,000 hospital capacity? I truly think this is a close call. I'm not going to pretend. I think this is a very close call. Where I come down on this, and this is my opinion, you can feel free to disagree. If I'm going to build a cav front inf backline castle, or even if I want to do inf front just a tank and then cav backline, then 100% Herald of Fire is better, because it gives me that infantry attack increase, it reduces the enemy infantry, that's all good and dandy. If I want to be just a crazy cavalry castle, I kind of like that 7% fervor increase, and I like that it's decreasing enemy cavalry attack. I do still think it's a really close call, and I think that I tend to think Herald of Fire in general is better because you should be two-line attacking, but I think there is a time and a place where you say, I want to just really focus on my cavalry, and I'd rather have 7% more. And if you're expecting to get attacked by cavalry, then that enemy cavalry attack reduction is better. And especially if you ever think you're going to be going cav on cav and you want yours to win, then clearly Light of Honor would be better. So, totally up to you guys. I think that this is a unique situation where there isn't a clear-cut, definitive, absolute right answer. It kind of depends on what your castle is going for and what you want to go for. But I think that between the 4 in this right-hand side and the 4 on the left-hand side, tough to go wrong. Just make sure you choose one that goes well for your castle. Clearly, if I'm a cavalry castle, I should not be getting Wandering Song, just like I should not be getting the Frozen Storm or the Dance of Snowflakes or the Splendid Light. So, with that in mind, I wish you all the best of luck, and I'll see you next time. My name is TyrionLanstr, though. See you then.